The old Norse chieftain, Bjorn, stood at the edge of the fjord, his eyes narrowing as they scanned the rugged landscape. The village of Drangvik had thrived for generations, protected and nourished by the Landvættir, the guardian spirits of their land. Bjorn had always considered these spirits mere superstition, idle tales spun by elders to inspire respect for nature. That all changed when a group of settlers arrived from the east, eager to carve out their fortune. Led by Thorfi, a man of grand ambition but little reverence, they started cutting down sacred groves, hunting in forbidden forests, and building over ancient stone altars. The air grew thick with foreboding as every axe stroke and every encroachment seemed to whisper a warning from the unseen guardians of the land. One cold evening, gray clouds swirled ominously over Drangvik, descending like a shroud. Sigurd, the village seer, came rushing into Bjorn's longhouse, her eyes wide with terror. "They are angered," she proclaimed, her voice trembling. "The Landvættir are displeased." Skeptical but curious, Bjorn ordered an offering to be made to appease the spirits, just in case. The people gathered at the largest stone altar, laying out gifts of food, mead, and finely woven garments. But the energy in the air grew even heavier, an unspoken fury hanging over them. That night, a storm unlike any they had ever seen crashed over Drangvik. Waves pounded the shore, swallowing boats and smashing against the houses. Lightning struck a mighty oak near the center of the village, igniting a fire that roared through the night. When the dawn finally broke, it unveiled a landscape of devastation and despair. Over the following weeks, the disasters mounted. Crops failed, mysterious illnesses spread through the village, and strange shadows darted at the edge of the forest, filling hearts with dread. Livestock vanished without a trace, and once clear streams turned murky and foul. Bjorn, now convinced of the spirit's wrath, summoned Thorfi and his men. "We must atone," he declared. "We must earn back their favor." Thorfi scoffed. "These are just children's tales. We should fight, not bow to shadows." His defiance was short-lived. One by one, Thorfi's men began to disappear, dragged away by invisible forces, their screams echoing through the night. The settlers' arrogance had brought the village to its knees. In desperation, Bjorn called upon Sigurd for guidance. She suggested a communal act of penance, a return to the old ways, respecting the sacred groves and rebuilding the stone altars. Under her direction, the village performed an elaborate ritual, fasting and praying, their faces etched with fear and hope. Slowly, the disasters began to recede. Streams flowed clear again, crops showed signs of life, and livestock returned. The haunting shadows retreated, and the storm clouds lifted. Though Drangvik bore the scars of its ordeal, it had learned a profound lesson. The Landvættir were not mere legends but powerful protectors, and their anger was not to be taken lightly. From that day on, the villagers lived in harmony with their land, knowing that the guardian spirits watched over them, both a warning and a shield. And Bjorn, the chieftain who had once dismissed the spirits, became their most fervent guardian, dedicating the rest of his days to ensuring peace with the unseen forces that held the power of life and death in their ethereal hands.